Well, hello and welcome, everybody. And great to be here today. And thanks for joining me here live. Hello, Karen. There's already out there joining us. And we've got lots to talk about here today. A full hour of conversation. And that's what we're going to be getting into just shortly here in a moment. And I'm going to be here every Monday, 3:30. I started out taking the show live a couple of weeks ago. We're going to do it on Tuesday, but for convenience purposes and whatever reasons, Thursday or Monday, 3:30 just seems to work out better. And if you don't catch it live, don't worry. The replay will still be here forever and ever as long as Facebook keeps it here. And we'll be uploading to our YouTube channel as well, which is TVSN World, or the Video Show Network on YouTube. We'll be rebroadcasting it to Twitter and everywhere you can imagine. So don't feel left out if you're not making it here live. If you are watching, please take a moment and say hello in the comments down below. And if you do that, oh, I look smart. Oh, thank you, Carinder. I appreciate that. It must be the tie. Wherever you are watching from, I'm just going to pull up a couple of things here that I want to show you before we get started so you understand what we're doing here. So please take the time and share this video out. So wherever you're watching from, click the share button, share it to your social medias, help us grow around here so we can get more attention, not just for the show, but for the people that we're going to have here on the show every week. And most importantly, share your comments, engage with us here, engage with our guests, make your comments, your suggestions, and ask your questions. And at some point, if you want, we're even going to share a link that you can join us here live on camera and talk to myself and our guests if you wish as well. So that's very important. And really super important is, in order for me to see your comments wherever you're watching from, leave there and come over to the Video Show Network page if you're going to make those comments. I'll only see the comments if you do it from the Video Show Network page. So hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm David Burrows here from the show live. We're going into we did 330 recorded episodes out in the community, never missed a week, and I'm pretty proud of that fact, and been able to connect with a lot of people. And now with the magic of live video, we're going to give you a full hour of community conversations, we're calling them. Now, you're going to have to bear with me because I'm not only the talk show host, I'm the producer, so I'm doing a whole bunch of things all at once here. And my guests, some of them are already eagerly awaiting in the lobby. We'll get to them one at a time. But some of the other things that I want to talk to you about here today with our community conversation. So yes, this is where you have to bear with me. I'm multitasking, trying to look around. And if I'm not looking straight at the camera, it's because I'm doing something. Let's get started, though, with what we're going to talk about, which is the Sarnia Sting. The Sarnia Sting, congratulations to them making it into the playoffs. They had a little hard ending here this season. Let me just get my notes. They started off and they won against the London Knights 4-2, which was fantastic. But then on Saturday, they lost really hard, 9-4 against Owen Sound. But that's okay because they'd already clinched their playoff position. And now, starting this Friday, game number 1 of the playoffs will take place at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. And that will happen again, as I said, this Friday. Puck drop is 7 o'clock, and they'll be taking on the Windsor Spitfires. Yes, the Memorial Cup champions, Windsor Spitfires. So not going to be an easy playoff round, but we have our faith in the Sarnia Sting. And again, that starts this Friday and then again Saturday, and then they'll take it on the road. You can go online to sarniasting.com to get your tickets, and I will be there broadcasting live before the game as well. We'll have some special interviews. You're not going to want to miss that, and intermissions as well. And of course, my friend Jay Peckham, as always, will be joining me for some fan perspective in there as well. So make sure you check that out. Something else coming up out in Petrolia. Our friends at the Petrolia Lions have a fundraiser going on. All the money goes back to the Petrolia Lions, which of course goes back into the community out in Petrolia. It's Freddie Vett and the Flames. Say that 5 times fast. These guys are 50s and 60s rock. And if you check them out online at FreddieVett.com, you're going to be able to see some really awesome videos. And if you're a 50s, 60s rock and roll fan like I am, I'm not that old, but I do appreciate the 50s and 60s. You'll be able to get out and enjoy that out in Petrolia as well. You can go on to Facebook, to the Petrolia Lions Facebook page. They've got all the information out there for that as well. Pardon me. This is a great thing about live. You can do whatever you want. So you can't see me right now, but I'll let you. I'm going to have a glass of water, because I'm going to do lots of talking here, right? The Easter Bazaar and Craft Sale supporting a Relay for Life team for the Sarnia Christian School. They're having that event coming up this Saturday, March the 24th. And there's going to be like 40 plus vendors there. So good time to do some shopping local and support a cause. Again, this Relay for Life team for the Sarnia Christian School. Again, that is happening this Saturday, and $2 donation. And I'm sure they take more of your money if you let them in there as well. Corinder, what do you say? Not using your mic today? Yes, I'm using my mic. Oh, my mic that says TV set. No, I have a little mic on there. See, Corinder is one of our regular followers here. He's got the right idea, sharing all the information and commenting and engaging with us as well. So please be sure to do that as well. And again, remember to click the share button so we can get some more attention for our guests. All right, let's see what we got coming up next here. Easter in the park. Yes, Easter coming up next week, right? I know I'm celebrating mine on March the 30th with the family. When are you having yours? We are going to have Easter in the park, as we do every year at Canatera Park. So make sure you get out and get the kids out there, and they're having an Easter egg hunt and all the Easter fun stuff. And I'm sure there'll be lots of chocolate out there as well. Don't let the kids eat it all in one day, right? If you want to find out more about that, this is an event that the City of Sarnia puts on in our Sarnia Parks and Rec Department. You can go online to sarnia.ca and get more information about that. I know it's a few weeks away, but it's closer than you think. I know we're looking outside. It's kind of cold here in Sarnia, but Mother Nature is bringing spring really soon, right? Fingers crossed. And that means First Friday, April is coming up. And as always, we'd like to talk about our friends down at Cheeky Monkey. Always have some great live entertainment. The Casuals will be there this First Friday in April. We'll probably be talking to them that week of as well. So hopefully we get a chance to talk to them. Great music always downtown everywhere, not just Cheeky Monkey. So put down on your calendar First Friday in downtown Sarnia. There'll be lots of arts and craft and music. And it's just it's good to walk about and get out to and socialize with some people. What was that song back in the Sesame Street days? I don't know. Some of my guests in the lobby might remember, but the people that you meet when you're walking down the street, yeah, okay. That's what First Friday is all about. And also, with springtime comes cleaning time, right? I'm already looking around the house figuring out what I got to get cleaned up around here. Spring cleaning time. And I've got a garage that's going to need a lot of cleanup as well. And our city needs cleanup as well. You know, you get rid of all the grime and dirt and snowy, dirty stuff from the winter time, right? It's time to get that all cleaned up and get our city looking attractive for everybody that lives here and those that come through here often. And it's cleanup day on April the 21st. And if you want to find out more about how you can put a group together and maybe participate in cleaning up the city, again, another City of Sarnia Parks and Rec Department event, looking for volunteers to help clean up the city here in Sarnia. Wow, that's a lot going on already, right? And for a guy who talks a lot, I'm on time. It looks like I'm on time. So I can get rid of that stuff here now. Again, I have to learn how to do this multitask thing because I'm the producer and I'm reading and trying to do everything all at once. So live video is great because you just keep going through it. And the other great thing about what we're doing now live here on the show is we're able to reach out to more people. And we're going to reach out here, as we call it, our community conversations locally. But we want to have community conversations from around the world. We want to use this community opportunity and this Facebook Live opportunity to connect our communities with each other. I'm sure there's a lot of common things happening in our community that's happening in other communities. And I truly believe that, and I said it on an earlier show today, that Facebook Live and live streaming, live video can impact the world and change the world used properly. And we live on one big city now, not just one little city, and to be able to connect our communities together. As you're going to see here, we're going to do some of that today, is a great opportunity. So if you are in a community and you've got something that you want to share outside of Sarnia-Lambton here, please connect with me here. I'd be happy to talk to you and have you here on the show. Positive only. We don't do the negative news stuff, right? Speaking of positive, my first guest is already in the lobby here. He's part of the March of Dimes Canada and coming back to Sarnia for, he's going to tell us how many years. It's been 4 or 5 years now that they've been doing it here in Sarnia. 5 years. Let's see, it's great. You didn't see that, but I did. Awesome. 5 years coming to BrownStones here in Sarnia for the March of Dimes. It's going to be some great rock and roll music and a good time for a great cause. I have Dennis Ullman. I'm going to bring him here online right now. There he is. Hello, Dennis.
How are you doing, Dave?
Fantastic. It's great to see you again.
It's great to see you, too. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, you're welcome. We seem to have made this a regular thing, which is absolutely fantastic. I think you and I have been doing this 3 years now.
That's right, yes. And this is our 5th year coming to Sarnia, as you mentioned.
Yeah. And thanks for that, the heads up.
No problem.
The Rock for Dimes is a fun event. I know I've only made it out twice out of the three times that I've known about it, but it seems to be a successful event for you.
Yeah, it's going very well. This is our 5th annual time having it here in Sarnia. This year we're going to feature 4 great bands who are volunteering their time to perform for us this Saturday evening. And the funds being raised are used to support children and adults with disabilities in the Sarnia-Lambton community.
Yeah, fantastic. And, I think probably most people have heard of March of Dimes. And, you kind of give a brief description of what it supports. I know I have some friends here, our mutual friend, Dom, right, who's involved. And,
Absolutely.
He's able to take advantage of the March of Dimes and what they offer. But I'm sure many have heard March of Dimes and they associate it with certain things. But can you kind of elaborate on, even beyond outside of Sarnia-Lambton, what March of Dimes provides besides housing, so to speak?
Sure, absolutely. So March of Dimes Canada has been around for, March of Dimes has been around for about 67 years. And It started with the Marching Mothers back on a very cold January morning. They were out trying to collect dimes to help eradicate polio, to find a cure for that. And they were successful with that. And subsequent to that, we started to continue helping people who are suffering from polio or polio victims and their families. And now we have a whole variety of programs, over 20 programs, helping about 70,000 people a year across Canada. And those programs include our Assisted Devices program, which is partially funded through the United Way in Sarnia-Lambton. And that's where we provide wheelchairs and safety devices so people can stay in their homes, perhaps maybe after suffering a stroke or persons living with a disability. We also have our recreation program where people are able to go to summer camp. We have specialized camps for children and adults who want to get out and enjoy the great outdoors during the summertime. And as you mentioned, we have our housing, our independent housing units that are around. We've got a couple of them in Sarnia operating. And that's part of our independent living program where we go in and allow individuals to be able to have 24/7 care so they can go to work or go out and volunteer or participate in the community. And it's all to make it sort of one stop for independence so they can get out and do the things that everyone likes to do throughout each day.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. With all the services that are available, and it's actually if we had more time, I wish we could talk about just how March of Dimes got started. You gave the kind of the Reader's Digest, but I'm wondering too about so these services are out there. Need special needs for housing and recreation. There's an adaptation that goes on. And I'm just curious about, I guess I'd say mental support, if that's the proper word as well. And I'll use our friend Dom as an example. Life kind of changed overnight for him.
That's right, yeah. And as
I knew him before he was, with MS and having disability issues. And that's going to be hard on a person mentally. Does the March of Dimes do anything to help support that?
Yeah, we do. In fact, if we're not able to support them in some communities, we do refer them to other agencies that would support the mental health issues there. Right. A number of the services we provide do enhance their ability to be independent, to help reduce isolation, so they're not having to stay home. They can get out in the community, go to concerts, access the food bank, get to their medical appointments, and do the things that need to be done. So by allowing them to become more independent, we are in fact allowing them to, become less isolated and get out there in the community. Those who are, have had a big change of life, we do have a Peers Fostering Hope program, and part of our stroke recovery program is offering that peer-to-peer support from someone who has in fact been there and who has been able to come back and survive after stroke, for example. And so we do provide that type of support. March of Dimes Canada doesn't work with just one form of disability. We work with all disabilities. And so we were able to integrate with other agencies and collaborate with them. But we do pride ourselves in being able to support a number of different areas of their lives. As I mentioned, recreation or assisted devices. We also have an employment services program that helps people get back to work or find employment. And it's a two-sided program where we also will, in fact, look at finding employers who are going to be suitable to take on someone who may have a disability.
Yeah, because I guess, and I hate to use the word, but I guess there are limits, right? I mean, when life changes like that, or you're in a position of accessibility issues, transportation, that's got to be a huge huge one. I mean, I'm without my car today because we only have one car, and so
Sure.
I can imagine what it would be like to not have that transportation. So is that and then finances has to be something to adapt to for most people as well too.
Yeah, most folks after are being just having a disability will go on ODSP, and
Yeah,
their net income is very very limited. So over 90% of the people that we do support actually do live in what we would call living below the poverty line, and
right.
we're there to assist them. We do have some graduated programs, which depending on your income level can change the level of care that we can provide for you.
Okay.
We have a home and vehicle modification program that we can modify your vehicle or help modify your home. And that, once again, you don't have to be living below the poverty line to qualify for that. So there is graduated levels of income where you're able to receive certain amounts of subsidy based on your
Right.
level of income.
Yeah. Now, and that's coming from the government, right?
Yeah, that particular program does come from the government. The assisted devices program I spoke about earlier, which is one of the programs we're working to fund through Rock For Dimes, this Saturday is fully funded by donor dollars and through United Way. So no government funding to support that particular program.
Right. I guess that sort of leads into my next question, which is it can be a difficult one sometimes, but where is the government in the rest of all of this? I mean, we hear, and I talk about mental health a lot, so forgive me, I'm not trying to take away from anything, but there's all kinds of agencies out there. We're going to talk to a few more here today. Everybody's fighting for the money. They're always trying to get the money, and we obviously reach out to our communities because the government doesn't quite do enough, or aren't able to do enough, or what's the fight like, if that's the right way to put it, for obtaining money from our government?
Sure. Well, we were March of Dimes Canada, as I mentioned 3 years ago. We changed from Ontario March of Dimes to March of Dimes Canada. So now we're working in all provinces and territories across our country, and every one of the provinces and territories is different in how they handle funding for people with disabilities. And so here in Ontario, the government does provide up to 75% for particular devices. They do help to fund the independent living program and employment services program as well. However, like every other organization, their funds are limited too, right? And so we do have a government relations and advocacy program that goes on and continues to work with the government to let them know what the needs truly are. And we show them ways on how they can make best use of their money. For example, I know United Way is not the provincial or federal government, but with United Way, for every dollar we receive from them, we're able to leverage that to purchase between $4 to $7 worth of equipment. So quite a good investment from them. And with the government also, we're able to many times provide programs and services at, say, a better rate of return than they are themselves. And thus they use different agencies like ours to deliver certain programs in the community. We also, in recent years, nonprofits and charitable organizations have had to really work on collaborating, working together to avoid any duplication of service or make sure there's no overlap. So trying to be efficient, as you say, people are always looking for funds. And so part of the criteria of receiving funds from any level of government or foundations would be to, in fact, show that we're not duplicating another service that's out there.
Right.
There's no point in, funding two services doing the same thing.
Yeah, well, and that's a good point that you bring up. I'm glad you did, because I know that happens often in communities. I know it happens in our community, and I know across all communities. Sometimes there's more than one agency trying to do the same thing, and that can be pointed out as taking. Why can't we all just get along, kind of thing? I guess is a way to do it, right, and share. Is that now? But going back to the change of March of Dimes, or Ontario March of Dimes to March of Dimes Canada, pardon me. There's more strength in that now because of that collaboration.
Well, actually, I think I don't want to say the opposite, but we were Ontario March of Dimes and we were very strong for many, many years here in Ontario. And what was happening is the other March of Dimes organizations in other provinces were being volunteer run for the most part. And as I mentioned, we're 67 years old, so our volunteers were getting older and older.
Right.
And many of them passing on. And so the organizations themselves, being volunteer driven, were losing their infrastructure, so to speak. Yeah. And so prior to us becoming March of Dimes Canada, we were receiving calls from across the country saying, how did you do it in Ontario? How can you help us out in Alberta? How can you help us out in British Columbia? And so basically they were coming to us more so than us saying, hey, we're going to change our name and now be helping the whole country. And so what's happening is we basically go into other provinces and say, where are there gaps in service? We provide some expertise that perhaps maybe you don't have because we have that expertise from Ontario, and retransfer that. So we've been able to really grow our programs on a national level, particularly our stroke recovery program. Has been a big one. Conductive education is another one that's growing across the country. And these are programs that are not being offered by other organizations. And they're going in and once again filling some gaps in services. And in other areas too, we've been able to sort of revitalize the March of Dimes activity in different provinces to keep it moving forward to help people with disabilities.
Okay, fantastic. You mentioned the word volunteers in there. I know that's probably changed a lot. Like you said, it's been around 67 years, so a lot of those volunteers have gotten much older and aren't around anymore or passed on. Is that an obstacle? Is that tougher now? Is our younger generation volunteering?
The younger generation is a different type of volunteer. They do want to help out, but they also want to be more engaged in the organization. They want to have a bit of a say in what's going on. Okay. The volunteer that comes out once a month maybe to assist with bingo or that sort of thing, those volunteers are becoming fewer and fewer. Now what we're finding is volunteers who want to really get in there hands-on and really help out and take some ownership for what's going on, which is great. There's less of them, but willing to do more of the work. But once again, you have to find the right fit between the skills they have and the interests they have and what opportunities we may have available for them to partake in. We still rely very heavily on volunteers across the country. We have March of Dimes committees in various communities across the country. And being a national organization, we want to make sure we're able to keep our fingers on the pulse of the local communities. Sure. And we do that through volunteer committees that take place throughout the whole country.
Yeah, awesome. And some of those volunteers are people who are using the services, right? I keep coming back to Dom. I've known Dom for probably 20 years. So I know he's involved.
Dom is actually chairman of our local Sarnia committee right now. He's been chair for the last year or so. He's been involved in Rock For Dimes for a number of years as well. Always comes out, has a good time. It's a highlight, I think, for him during the year to come out and hang out with his friends. And
it certainly is.
And just enjoy some good music and some good times. And so, we are hoping that our consumers are also involved in volunteering. On our committees, we have a structure set up where we want to have representation from consumers, other charitable groups, other organizations that we work with, people from industry who we work with, if they're providing accessibility materials to us, like Hodges Renovations, who's helping to support Rock For Dimes. They're also on our Sarnia committee, actively involved in supporting what we do. And we work with other groups. We also work with the city of Sarnia, with Dale Mosley there quite a bit too, and making sure that we're not duplicating presentations that they're putting on. We used to have an opening doors for accessibility series, and he was running Accessibility Summit. So a few years ago, we merged those two events into one. Another example of collaboration. So
hey, there's our friend Dom.
There he is right now.
Hey Dom, thanks for joining us, buddy. Interesting you brought up the city of Sarnia, Dale Mosley. I actually I'm on the age-friendly steering committee here in Sarnia.
Great.
And so it has come up a few times, and Dale's great to work with as well. Speaking of partnerships, BrownStones is where you've been having this Rock For Dimes event quite successfully. They're a great community partner here. I know they're often giving back into our community here as well. They've obviously been very supportive of what the Rock For Dimes event's all about.
Yeah, actually working with John and the folks from BrownStones for 5 years now has been incredible. That's where we started the Rock For Dimes. It's been folks don't know, they don't have live entertainment there on a regular basis. I think it's the only night of the year that they actually bring in live bands. Pretty
much. It's a big sports bar. It's got one of the biggest screen in town great for watching hockey. Yeah,
absolutely. So we in fact do bring in full production and lighting for the event, and we are excited to be able to do that. And as a result, we're able to move things forward. I just got a little something on my screen here. Hang on. There we go. Sorry about that. So we bring in production and lighting for the event. We bring in the entertainment. As I mentioned, the bands play for free. John and his staff are excellent hosts and hostesses. They welcome us there, and it's the one night a year we can kind of party down with some live music at BrownStones.
Right on.
And as you mentioned, big sports fans, big supporters. I know the Stings, a lot of the pregame folks go to BrownStones for some pregame food. And
I'm usually there after the game, after a broadcast, and hanging out there. So it's, they have great staff there, and it really is a grech location for the Rock For Dimes. Well, let's get some people out there, Dennis. Why don't you talk about the bands that are playing and how much it's going to cost and what's involved? And while you're doing that, we'll show the poster on the screen here.
Sure, absolutely. Tickets are $20 each. What you get for that is a chance to hear 4 great local bands. Zephyr is going to be performing, Roundhouse, Coldwater, and Lee's Michaud with Borderline. And doors open at 8:30. There's going to be a silent auction and a live auction, and just a great night of entertainment. And we'll have a 50-50 draw, and lots of folks will be coming out. And we've got AutoMax on board as our stage sponsor again this year, so we're really happy with that. We've got lots of great prizes. Massage Addict just once again donated some great prizes. If you have a sore back or you're just you're not feeling relaxed, it's a good chance to get some good stuff from them, as well as Blue Water Power, who's been an excellent sponsor for us the last number of years. And we're really, so happy to have them on board. As I mentioned earlier, Hodges Renovations this year, one of our major sponsors, helping to promote the event and just really spread the word that we're out there to rock for dimes and raise money for folks in the Lambton and Sarnia area.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Lots of great support there. And one more time, what specifically is this money going towards?
The money this year is going to go to support the Standing Oaks conjugate care expansion that's going on. Okay. We currently have room there for 5 full-time individuals and then a 6th place there for respite care. Right. But we have a waiting list of 8 persons, and these are people who are, medically fragile, as they term them, and we're hoping to be able to support more folks like that in our community. And through the funds raised, we're going to be able to help make that happen, as well as our assisted devices program, and as you mentioned earlier, the community outreach programs too.
Fantastic. Well, we've got lots of people here in Sarnia watching here today, and we've got some people from around the world watching, so maybe they'll take this for an idea.
Well, folks around the world can help out too. If they go to rockfordimes.ca/Sarnia, they can get tickets there online, but they can also make donations or support one of the bands, and funds will be raised through that mechanism, as well as tickets being sold out the door or through our office.
That's fantastic. And we're going to put that up on the screen one more time, marchofdimes.ca, where you can find out more information, /Sarnia in there as well. And any final words, Dennis, before I let you go?
No, we hope to see everybody out on Saturday night. Let's rock on with these 4 great bands. We'll be there from 9 till about 12:30, having a great time at BrownStones.
About 12:30. Okay, I've got a Sting game I got to do. When that's over, look for me at the door. I'll be down there.
Well, and we're actually putting a promotion on. Those who have dinner at BrownStones can come in and get a discount off of tickets to come back after the game and join us. So feel free.
Oh. Awesome. All right. Yeah. Well, make sure you send me that information so I can share that out on our Facebook page, and I'll share that at the broadcast at the Sting game as well, so we can get some more people down after the game.
Sounds great. Thanks very much. And by the way, sorry to say, I'm a Windsor Spitfires fan.
Oh boy, you're going to have issues. All right. Well, thanks again, Dennis, for joining us from the March of Dimes. And again, the Rock for Dimes in support of the March of Dimes. 4 awesome bands in there. They're all fantastic. I've heard them all and looking forward to it. I'm going to have to rush out of the Sarnia Sting game to get down there again for the Rock for Dimes. Again, that's happening this Saturday, March the 24th, down at BrownStones here in Sarnia-Lambton. Wow. I should get out and talk to Dennis more often, because it seems like we always connect once a year for this. We do sporadically throughout the year, but he's a hard worker for the March of Dimes. And my friend Dom, if you're still out there, Dom, let's see if we can find Dom here and give him another shout out. Hey, props to you, Dom. He's chairman for the event here in Sarnia. Dom likes to come out to my karaoke once in a while. When it's getting warmer out there, I know he's going to be looking to come and join us at karaoke again here in town at Rock and Roll. So hope to see you soon, Dom. All right, well, moving on to our next community conversation. Once again, we're going to talk with a member from Sarnia Lambton Rebound, and they've got a couple of special events, one in particular coming up, but they've also got an event on that's currently running right now. Very active in the community and very supportive of our youth in the community, which is very important, and that's something personal there for me, that I like supporting Sarnia Lambton Rebound. And we've got Andraya MacMillan is in our lobby. Thumbs up if you're ready. Right on. Perfect. Oh, and I see Jennifer's in the lobby. Jennifer, you're in there. Good. Stand by. Everybody's all, it's all working together. Andraya, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for waiting in the lobby. Are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, no problem. You're multitasking, aren't you?
No.
Well, thanks for joining me. I know you've been waiting in the lobby there and listening to Dennis there from the Rock for Dimes event coming up. Let's before we get started, I know there's, again, probably quite a few who know what Sarnia Lambton Rebound's about, but let's give them the Reader's Digest version of what you are all about.
Lambton Rebound's been in the community for just over 30 years, since 1984. And we began as a diversion program for youth that were getting in trouble with the law. But now we've grown so much within the community that we are servicing tons of youth and families. We try and stay on top of the trends and themes within the community. We are supporting more intervention or more prevention than the intervention of the olden days. So lots of life skills groups, lots of drop-in programs that we have,
Right.
and we just try and stay on top of it all.
Right. And how long have you been involved?
I've been with the agency for 7.5 years.
Right. Okay. What's your title down there?
So I'm a youth and transition worker. I support youth that are transitioning out of children's aid care.
Right.
And I also support our provincial project. So we have 9 sites across Ontario that the Ministry of Health funds our programming. So I help support those sites.
Right. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. So this is your passion then too, is it? This is what you went to school for, and
yes.
And you're excited to be working in this field. It must be
Absolutely.
difficult at times, though. I mean, you're going to see some things that are not going to make you happy.
I mean, I've been in the field for quite a while. I worked residential before I came over to Rebound. So it's such a great environment here at the agency. And really, I mean, there's tough stuff, but the laughter and the smiles, the relationships that we're able to build with young people just makes it all worth it. Yeah,
that's great. That's a great answer, because you really took it and took the positive side of what you do have to deal with, which is it shows the mindset that's happening there. And I know that because I work with many of you. I'm around a lot of you, and I see and you can, like, you walk in the door, you can feel that environment. It doesn't feel like a bad place. There's a positive vibe going on there. And, I know that comes from the staff that's there, but it's safe to say that there's youth that are graduate programs, but then they continue to participate in the what's going on there. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We're a youth engaged organization, so that's where that feeling comes from. We really listen to the young people that come through our doors, and they help us create such an engaging space. And young people transfer from programs to being junior coaches. I mean, we have all the drop-in centers. We're in the community a ton, so we're just creating all those relationships.
Yeah. And there's a great word, relationships. It really that's kind of the root of it all, right? Is relationships, especially with the youth, creating those relationships, those ongoing relationships,
Yes. Yep.
And adapting to our youth. I mean, I'm 48 years old. Things are a little bit different than when I was a little boy. I noticed, and we got lots of time here, so I just want to talk about a few things. I noticed recently too the Rebound Rocks. Is that what it's called?
Yes, it's really popular.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago, or even a month ago. I was there for the kind of opening of that. How's that going?
Really great. It's such a creative way to get young people in the space and support them through different avenues. It doesn't always have to be the typical talking and sitting down in a 10-week session. We always try and dabble in different things that really connect young people and create a community for them to belong. So Stephanie does a great job with Rebound Rocks. It's really one of her passions. And she it's been really great to see it happening within the agency.
Yeah, well, it's connections, another great word that I noticed when I was down there. I got there for the opening, and there were 3 boys up there, one that I knew, but some of the staff that were there said these 3 folks didn't even know each other.
They didn't.
And they just walked up and said, "Hey, do you?" And away. So what a connection for sure.
It's just creating that commonality with the young people, and then allowing them to express themselves in really outside of the box ways.
Yeah. You've got some fans watching here, Andraya. We got Kaylee Potts is out there. Hey, Andraya, we're all watching in the lounge. Well, if everybody's in the lounge, isn't anybody doing anything? Oh, that's funny.
That's one of our drop-ins for youth ages 12 to 16. And so they can come after school and hang out. There's a hot meal served from 3 till 6, and every night there's a themed night. They're having a games night tonight over there, so it's a lot of fun.
What time does that start? I'm in.
It's probably already happening.
Oh, okay. Well, let's give a shout out to everybody in the lounge watching there. That's great. Fantastic. What's going on there? Who else is saying hello? Tennille Lahi. Did I say that right? Hello,
actually, Tennille is one of the young people that's helped me organize the Reaching Out conference. Being a youth engaged organization, I work with a group of 3 young people this year, and it's all of their ideas, all of their concepts, and I just kind of help pull it together. Really, it's not my brainchild, it's theirs. And Tennille is one of them. She was on the radio with me last week. She's a really great advocate for mental health.
Fantastic. And then Sarnia Lambton Rebound himself. Andraya is Rebound awesome.
Yeah, that's what we've coined ourselves.
That's fantastic. Well, you can see right in with people participating in the comments there that that's just part of all what's happening down there at Sarnia Lambton Rebound. Let's move on and talk about home away from home. How's that going?
Really great. It's been a really great reaction within the community. We've been at the mall it'll be almost 2 weeks, selling the raffle tickets for the home away from home to win a playhouse.
Yeah, is it just one playhouse, or is it?
No, there's actually 8 of them. There's 8 different structures at the mall. We partnered with the Carpenters Union. They were really gracious and created all of these playhouses for us, and we're raffling them off. It's $5 a ticket, which is a great price to win a playhouse, and they're really adorable.
Yeah, like I wouldn't fit in one, obviously, but I did go buy them.
I don't know. I've heard a lot of really creative ideas, like a man cave and a chicken coop. Yeah? Well, People are really thinking outside the box.
This is my playhouse. I have my studio at home here in the basement. I get stuck down in the corner. That's fantastic, and that's going really well, and I did see them. They really are, adorable is a good word, fantastic, and a great idea is this the first year this has been done, or?
It is, yeah.
Okay. And where did this idea come from?
It was really kind of created from some of the my colleagues here at the agency. Some of them have really had this idea kind of brewing for quite a while, and we're able to kind of make it happen this year. In amongst everything else that we do at the agency, it's just another great addition.
I'm back. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Hi.
Okay, sorry about that. See, technology.
That's okay.
I was just going to say, so that's, we talk about money. Everybody's always looking for money. I don't need numbers or anything, but Rebound seems to be doing okay. I know there was maybe some struggles there with the hub recently, but looks like things are going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, we always try and do our best, and we are within a really supportive community. We're very fortunate for that.
That's very true. Awesome. Glad to hear. Okay, let's move on. Rebound is Reaching Out.
Yes.
Another event that's also coming up this week, and that's going to be at Great Lakes Secondary School this Saturday. Yeah. Talk about that.
Sure. So this is the 5th year that we've been doing Reaching Out. It's really a one-day youth and adult ally conference that really focuses on mental health and wellness. And the purpose is to connect young people and even older people that are struggling with the supports in the community. So we're having a really great slam poet come from Toronto. He's a spoken word artist. He's going to be our keynote speaker in the morning, and his name is Matthew Jones. We also have a fabulous lunch that we're providing everyone for the day. We have these World Cafe wellness rooms. So there are spaces where people can float around and experience different ideas of wellness that they might not have ever experienced in their life. Okay. So we have some really great additions this year. We have Let's Face It coming from the college to do some mental health facts and info. We have the Painted Cat is coming to create an art. Rebound Rocks is going to be there. Nice. We have a Zen Den. Yeah, we have a Zen Den, which will be with essential oils and lava stones for people to experience. We're going to have an improv space. We're going to have a boxing space. And then Matthew Jones, the spoken word artist, is also going to host a creative writing space as well. And then in the afternoon, we're partnering this year with Sarnia Speaks. So we're going to have a mini Sarnia Speaks. And the youth who've helped me plan the conference have really chosen some really great speakers that really connect to the things that they feel like are important in the community right now. So younger speakers, which young people will be able to relate a little bit more to.
Right. What kind of things are those concerns that you're hearing?
Well, the young people really want to talk a lot about mental health. It's a really, really big focus, obviously, for the day. They really want to hear diverse stories around mental health. So anxiety and depression seem to be hot topics all the time, but they really wanted to hear lots of other speakers as well. We have someone coming to talk about LGBT and trans, their experience within their lifestyle. We have people who are talking about body image. We have people who are sharing their experiences. So it's really just a really great day, lots of learning, and keeping the conversation going around mental health and providing those supports. We have 16 agencies around the community that are hosting booths for people to connect with, and we have an incentive for people to talk to these community booths so that they kind of open up their realm of support, so that when they are ever in a moment of struggle or have someone in their life, they can really talk about a relationship they've created already, and it just minimizes that worry.
Right. How difficult is it? I mean, we keep talking about connection, and we're talking about mental health, and there's so many variables that go into that. And I've had the mental health discussion many times, and I'll never stop talking about it, quite honestly. Are the youth coming to Rebound, or does Rebound have to keep going to the youth? Like, how hard is it to make that initial connection?
Well, I mean, as an agency, we really do try and stay on top of the trends and themes, which is why we really go outside of the box a lot of times. We have our drop-in space, our lounge, which we spoke about earlier, as well as the hub. We really try and be out in the community. So I think it goes both ways, young people coming in as well as us going to them, because they don't need to fit into our mold within the agency of, this perfect mold of support. Yeah. We really need to reach out and be out there and navigating and creating the relationships in the community. And then it goes both ways.
Yeah. Hence the name Reaching Out, right? And you're partnering with some fantastic people. I will give huge props to Danielle Cooper, who is, founder of Sarnia Speaks. And I know she's, it's hard to believe. I think it's almost a couple of years now that it's been going on. It's hard to believe that time's flown. And
I'm really excited for our relationship this year.
Yeah, she's done fantastic leaps and bounds, had some obstacles and keeps going, and has done some great things. So it's nice to see those partnerships happening, and really, partnerships happening with people in our community, not just an agency partnering with another agency. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's that I like to call it that roots level. Are you seeing more and more of that in the agencies?
I mean, I think all around, Sarnia is a supportive community. I mean, it's difficult when you're not in a moment of needing support to know what's out there, but once you need it, there are so many committees that I sit on myself that people are constantly trying to work together and create and foster those relationships so that there is no wrong door and we can just connect with each other if someone hasn't come to the right place.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm out of time for you here today, but we certainly got lots of information. We got the phone number up there, and we've got the website. My friend Carrinder is down in the United States. He's looking for the website and stuff, so we've connected with a lot of people. Just before we go and move on, any final words you want to share or anything that we might have missed?
Just that it's a free day. And so if parents out there have young people that they want to attend the day with, it's a really great way to open up that conversation around support, as well as we have people coming 12 years old right up to grandparents. So it's everybody. Like I said, giveaways given out all day long. It's really just a great day.
Fantastic. Well, Andraya, thank you so much for reaching out here today and being a part of the show. And please reach out to me anytime and tell the rest of your staff to reach out to me, anything that's going on. Oh, tell them about the prizes. We're out of time, Tennille, but there's going to be lots of prizes there. And she's excited. Prizes. Who doesn't like prizes? And we'll be sharing all this information on our Facebook page, and we'll have it on our website, the Video Show Network, as well, leading up to the event. Andraya, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Go have some fun game night or whatever's going on over there.
Thank you.
Bye for now. All right, once again, Andraya MacMillan joining us here for our community conversation, our second community conversation, reaching out, a fantastic event happening at Great Lakes Secondary School this coming Saturday. We'll share that on our Facebook page as well. Now, wow, fantastic. Time's flying around here, and we're going to move on to our next agency now here in Sarnia, the Family Counselling Centre, who is also having a special event coming up right shortly. We've got our friend Jennifer from Family Counselling Centre. Here we go. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, David. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, thanks for waiting patiently in our lobby.
It was very interesting to hear about the other agencies, so thank you.
Yeah, well, you know, it's always different perspectives, right, of what's going on in our community, and there's a lot happening, and I'm sure you would agree, though, we do live in a very supportive community here, that's for sure.
We absolutely do, and we love to provide support to both the March of Dimes and to Rebound as well.
Yeah. Talk about the Family Counselling Centre. I mean, the title kind of says it sort of self-explanatory, but can you kind of elaborate on exactly what the Family Counselling Centre is doing here in Sarnia-Lambton for us?
Sure. Well, you'd be interested to know that since 1955, we have been located in Sarnia-Lambton and have been providing supportive services through counseling programs since that time. So over 63 years, we've been providing counseling in Sarnia-Lambton.
That's fantastic.
I know, it's hard to believe. And we run, I won't mention all the programs that we have because we have approximately 20 different counseling programs, all geared to individual situations such as brief trauma work or the distress line. You know, we have several different programs, all geared to individuals, families, children, just whatever is going on with an individual. They need support in the community. We're here for them.
Right. And it is fantastic service, and I'll be honest, I remember using it when I was younger, and so I know it has been around a long time. Excellent. And it's great to see the growth that the counseling center has had. And we do have a lot of agencies here in town. I mean, I think we need to continue to get the word out about our agencies because I'm not sure everybody realizes what's available. But I always hate coming to this subject, but before we talk about your event, we got to talk about money. I think it's always the obstacle, especially for families. I mean, so is there a cost to use a family counseling center for families, or is there income? Like, how does that work?
There are different funding revenues, I guess you would say, different avenues of funding. So, for example, we have an EAP program. That's our employee assistance program. And that is purchased through companies and organizations in the community to provide counseling services for their employees and their families. Right. That is paid for by the employer. And then we have the distress line. The distress line is a key program that we have in Sarnia-Lambton. For example, last year, 1,700 calls were placed to the distress line of individuals that were in distress and needed to talk to someone, needed support. 452 of those people were actually suicidal. So that program is funded through the United Way. So there's all these different revenue streams that we have. And so we don't turn people away. If someone has an issue and they need to talk to someone, they feel they need counseling, that initial step of calling in and saying, I need help, it's difficult. So we don't want to turn people away. So we encourage individuals to call our main number and talk to our intake department, and they can determine if we can help them through United Way funding or through some other revenue stream. Our main number is 336-0120.
Let me get that down here. 336-0120.
Yes, that is our main line.
That's for the counseling center or for the distress line?
That is for our counseling center, and for our distress line, which is available 24/7. I'll give you that number. Yep. It's 888-347-8737. 888-347-8737. That's our distress line for Sarnia, and we're available 24/7.
All right. Bear with me. I'm not ignoring you. I want to type this in.
That's okay. That's okay.
Let's see. I want to get this right. So 888-347?
Yes. 8737.
737.
That's our distress line.
Perfect. The world is seeing it now. That's fantastic to know. But money is always
yes.
That much needed. The government keeps cutting back on this stuff, which
yes,
I don't understand why. Lack of money, whatever their reasons are. That's probably a 4-hour show if I wanted to talk about it.
Possibly 5.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. It really frustrates the heck out of me, and I'm being polite. It's not just your agency. Many agencies, especially when it comes to mental health, which I'm sure is right at the top of the list there, especially these days. Thoughts on that briefly? What's happening out there? Are we running out of money? Is there too many agencies? What can you say about that?
Unfortunately, money isn't always funneled into the proactive agencies such as ours. So we have to find other ways to find money to keep the agency going and to be able to provide support. And we don't discriminate. I said, we try very hard to never turn anyone away. Now, the funding and the ministry and all of that, again, that could be a 5-hour show. It's just sometimes the people that make those decisions don't really have a firm grasp of where that money needs to be spent. And this has been going on. I've been in the mental health field for 25 years, and I've seen it happen many times where they cut back these programs and people end up on the streets. The governments end up spending more money having people staying in a psychiatric unit rather than being proactive and getting them counseling or getting them in a program before the issue gets out of hand.
Yeah, and that's how do we speed up that process?
Of funding or getting them into an agency?
Yeah, getting them into the agency. That's something I've heard of often. I didn't take a survey or anything, but I hear that's a problem.
Yes, and that's where funding does help because we can hire more individuals. So, and the big thing for me is getting the word out and helping people get over the stigma of there's nothing wrong for come for counseling. Everyone has stress in their lives. Come in to talk to one of our professional counselors, and we do our very best to get people in a timely manner. It's not always possible because of the cutbacks, but we do what we can, and that's why we do other events such as fundraisers. We we are a benefactor from the United Way, and we appreciate them so much for all that they do to support us. But sometimes we have to do our own fundraising, as we're doing this Friday for our event.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's talk about that, and then I do want to come back to some other things, but
sure.
I'm going to share it on full screen right here now if you want to talk about the Jukebox Challenge. It sounds like fun.
Jukebox Challenge. This is our 4th year that we have offered this fun fundraiser, and all of the money this year is in support of the Distress Line, as I mentioned earlier, and our TellCheck program. And I'll just give you a brief overview of our TellCheck program. Sure. It is a program. We also do get money from United Way to help support that program. But it is a program where, for individuals, seniors who live alone, or individuals with disabilities who live alone, they need that support. They need to know someone cares and someone checking on them. So we have a team of volunteers that call and check on them every day. Make sure they have what they need. They're going to that doctor's appointment. Do they need someone to talk to? Are they taking their medications? Do they need other resources that we can put them in touch with? So that's what the TellCheck program is. And so the money from our fundraiser this Friday is going to help support those 2 programs, Distress Line and TellCheck. Wow. And the Jukebox Challenge is this Friday night at the Dante Club. This is the 3rd year we've had it at the Dante Club. They do a fantastic job. The doors open at 6 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock, we have Tony Frangus, who's our MC.
Tony's awesome.
Tony is amazing. Tony is amazing. He makes the night fun. He knows his music, and it's a Name That Tune event. So there's teams. Every table has 8 people. Yep. At the table. The tickets are $30 a person, so it's really cost effective for fun. That's it. And it actually includes food as well. Wow. So it's a Name That Tune event, and you get in teams, Tony will play a snippet of a music from a movie, a TV show, or a song from different eras. I love the 80s, so I'm hoping he plays lots of 80s music. Yeah, me too. So he plays the music. The teams write down their answers, and then runners come in and take their scorecards, run them to the back room. There's prizes for the winning team.
And no cell phones.
No cell phones. You've heard that. Yes. No cheating. It's a fun event. The prizes aren't that extravagant that people feel they need to cheat over. We're also having a 50-50 draw. We're having raffle items that have been generously donated from the community. We also, I really would like to mention, we have 4 sponsors that are sponsoring us.
Mention them all.
Okay. Blue Water Power. They have sponsored us for 4 years. They are phenomenal.
Amazing. They give back to so many in this community. I mean, sponsors can be few and far between sometimes, right? But Blue Water Power does absolutely everything they can. Would you agree with that?
They do. Yeah. And they don't hesitate at all.
Yeah,
and the local 663 Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, they're a sponsor for us, and they've been really supportive of our agency. We also have Z-Bart Uniglass, on Confederation there. They do car detailing and all that, and put hitches on. They're sponsoring us for the 4th year in a row, and Lambton Metalworks as well. So we're going to have all their information the night of the event and on our website and our Facebook page. So they have contributed a lot to our agency as well, and to this fundraising program. I should mention, you can enter as a team for this event. It's $240 for 8 people. That includes, there's going to be snacks throughout the night included on all the tables. And then at break time, there'll be Dante Club gourmet pizza, veggie trays, it's wonderful food. It's all included. You don't have to pay for that. It's included in your ticket price.
Wow, that's fantastic.
There's a cash bar. It's just a really fun night. We'll be raffling off door prizes and bragging rights for the winning team.
Bragging rights. See, that's the best part for me. I want to brag. I got to look and see.
I wish I could play. I never get to play.
Are you not playing?
I'm running the event, but I love to see the excitement. People get so excited. They're jumping up and down. It's just a really fun night.
I'm tempted to skip out on the Sting game Friday night just to come.
I think you should. Tony Francis is going to to be with us.
I want to go just because Tony's there. I love Tony. Tony
is amazing.
Tony's one of the coolest guys I know, quite honestly.
I know, isn't he?
And if he's watching, he'll be like, yeah, right, Burrows.
So, and he obviously won't be the commentator on the Sting game, so he might as well come over to the Dundee Club.
Yeah, well, I got to do the pre-broadcast. Anyway,
do you? Okay.
But it's playoffs. I got to stay there. But I would be there for that. And my wife would come along because she loves it. But she's super competitive. I'm not sure that I'd want to bring her.
There are some competitive people there, yes. It's just a really fun night. And it's such a good cause to give back to the community.
Yeah. And I know you heard it earlier, and I'm sure you would agree. We really do, and you said it earlier yourself too. We really have a very come together, caring community. There's a lot of support going on here.
Yes.
I want to give you full time here because I know we were running behind, but I wanted to. I got to come back to the mental health because it's a conversation that needs to keep going, right? The stigma that we talk about. What we hear rebound, and I don't want to say agencies are duplicating anything in mental health. So, that's another conversation too. We won't go there. But what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to mental health, it's okay if we duplicate all of that conversation in all of our agencies, right? Because
exactly,
it's that conversation that's got to continue on. Michael Landsberg was here recently. We're seeing it with Sarnia Speaks and Rebound and the Boys Home and suicide. It's even a hard word to say, right?
It is.
And mental health is becoming easier to say. So it's always great to hear the conversations. But my question is, so what sort of things specifically? I mean, obviously the distress line. You're seeing that mental health and that suicide. I think we tend to automatically think of our younger folk when we talk about that, but it's really not just them. Is that right to say?
You're absolutely right. It's not just suicide and mental health issues. They don't say, well, I'm just going to target the young. They target the elderly too. That's why we have that TELCHECK program. Oh, yes, men, women, children. It really doesn't discriminate. And so as I mentioned before, I would really like us to be more proactive. And so the programs, again, we have 20 programs, so obviously can't talk about them all.
Yeah.
But the TELCHECK program, that program I mentioned, calling and checking on those seniors. Could you imagine living alone day after day? Maybe you don't have the resources to get out.
Yep.
You're depressed. Your health is failing. You're losing all your loved ones. They're all passing away. It's very depressing. Yeah. And so that's why the distress line is there. That's why the TELCHECK program is there. And our counselors all work together on finding the rest program. Maybe an individual, a client that comes in here has to see a couple of different, be in a couple of different programs. We're always offering group counseling. We have Putting Kids First, which is coming up in May. It's a free program we offer to the community. It's called Putting Kids First. It's for parents who have separated or divorced. They come in here and they learn how to put their children first, not talking ill of the other parent in front of the child. That just damages the child. They learn coping mechanisms, how to co-parent effectively to help that child so they don't have to come for counseling someday. So we have that coming in May. I'll have information at our fundraiser about that program. It's called Putting Kids First. But we try to do what we can. And a lot of these programs are run off donations and through United Way.
Fantastic. Well, make sure you let me know about that so we can get the word out there.
I will. Thank you.
Sure. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining. Before I let you go away, is there anything final you want to add before we let you go?
No, just thank you for your support, and we hope to see everyone out at the Jukebox Challenge on Friday night.
You're very welcome, and all the best of success on that. And next time I'll book off the Sting and I'll come to it.
Thank you. You'd have fun.
I will. Thanks again. All right, Jennifer from Family Counselling Centre here in Sarnia-Lambton. What a fantastic agency. We have a lot of agencies here in town, and I know I said 1 hour, but it's my show. I can go over if I want. One of the common things that I keep hearing about here in Sarnia is that we do have a lot of fantastic support here in Sarnia-Lambton, and we have a lot of agencies, and I will say that, there are some doing some of the same things. Some are the same but different. We all have different ways of how we want to handle things, so it's good to have that different flexibility, I guess maybe is a word, or choices to suit our needs. And we talked a lot about mental health here today, and we're going to talk more about it. We're going to keep talking about it on a lot of shows because we just need to. But I hope you got something out of this show today to realize just what agencies are available and how they do need your support. I think we tend to, and this is just my opinion, this is the portion of the show where I give my opinion. I think we tend to look towards, whenever there's a problem, we say, what's the government going to do for us? And while I do believe that the government needs to be there to support some of the things that are going on, especially our agencies, and especially in the mental health world, and starting at younger ages, because my understanding is the younger ages lack even more in funding, and that's where I believe we need to start in supporting our children to prevent some of these things. We want this to decrease, right? It's great to have these agencies in place, but it'd be even greater if they didn't exist, if you get what I'm saying. I don't think that's ever going to happen, obviously, but we need to do whatever we can. And the way we do that is by getting out to these events. As Jennifer just mentioned, they're having their Jukebox Challenge on Friday night. And then, of course, our guest, Andraya from Sarnia Lambton Rebound, she did a fantastic job in there as well, and her team was cheering for her. Pardon me, they're having their Reaching Out event coming to Great Lakes Secondary this Saturday as well. I'm hoping I might just pop by around in the afternoon and check that out. And, of course, you still got time to get down to the Lambton Mall and get your tickets for a chance to win one of those adorable, as Andraya called them, playhouses. And, of course, Dennis Ullman from March of Dimes joining me in there for Rock For Dimes going on this Saturday as well. You just hop around and take the tour of all these agencies and have a whole lot of fun out there. Madison Bruner, thanks for stopping by. Hello to you as well. Karen Durr, and who else do we have in there? Let's see. Tell them about the prizes. Oh, that's Tennille. Thank you so much for joining us. Todd Carmody, thanks for joining us. And if you enjoyed this show at all in any shape or form, please type the number 10 in the comments below so I know you're getting a good value out of the show. I'm going to be here live every Monday, 3:30. For a full hour of community conversations, and we're going to talk about some music and whatever else is going on as well. Things might change as to what the show looks like layout-wise. I want to say thanks to our friends at BeLive.tv. If you are thinking of ever going live, check out BeLive.tv, and they've got a fantastic platform here for talk showing. Andraya, thanks for the 10, and thanks for being on here. And thanks to all of you. I really enjoy getting out here into the community and having these conversations. And if you would like to be on the show, or you've got something positive that needs to happen or be talked about here in our community, go over to my Facebook page, The Show Sarnia, The Show with David Burrows, and there's a link there. Tell me your story, and let's get you on the show here. Madison, I don't want to make you cry. I hope if you cry, it's a happy cry, I hope. I'm so happy to meet you as well, Madison. We are all out of time. I thank you so much for watching once again, and that's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show live. Bye for now.